What is up, degenerates? Welcome back to Hype Check for yet another video for the UFC. In today's video, I'm doing a full card breakdown, going over each and every fight for UFC 288, Cejudo versus Sterling. As always, if you guys are new here, join the fam, hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to hit that 50K subscriber mark, so if you are new, it does help out the channel a lot. But before we get into anything, I want to do a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Stake, the #1 sportsbook and casino available online and exclusively for the Hype Check fam. When you use the code HYPE when signing up, I will be giving you guys a $75 tip, whether it's to your Stake account, to your Zelle, Venmo, or Cash App, whatever you want. I'll be sending you a $75 tip after you use the code HYPE and make a deposit over on their website. So if you guys want to take advantage of this and sign up for the best sportsbook available online after you do sign up using the code, message me on Instagram at HypeCheckSports or on Twitter at HypeCheck with a screenshot, and I'll send you over the money ASAP. Thank you guys for all the support once again. Make sure to comment your favorite bets and picks down below. As myself, I know a lot of the other viewers like looking at that as well. Let's cash in big this week, boys. Let's do it.
Kicking off the early prelims, we got Daniel Santos going up against Johnny Munoz Jr. Santos is the favorite at -159, and Jr. is the underdog at +141. Both fighters are coming off bounce-back wins. Jr. over Ludwig Sholinian, and Santos a knockout win over John Castaneda. Jr. will have the height and reach advantage in this matchup, and he'll use it to his advantage as he's a very solid fighter overall, but he's primarily a grappler, averaging over 2 takedowns a fight. Both fighters are BJJ black belts and boast subpar takedown defense. Santos, on the other hand, will be the superior striker. He puts out an insane amount of volume, averaging just about 5 significant strikes per minute, and he throws with big power as well. Betting-wise, both guys love to brawl, and I fully expect this to be a super exciting fight for however long it lasts. Santos is the play. He's better overall wherever this fight goes, and Jr. doesn't really have any experience against legit fighters. He has never beaten anyone in the UFC who's good. For example, his 2 wins in the UFC were against guys who never had a win in the UFC themselves and still don't have a win, while Santos beat a very legit fighter in Castaneda. It's a favorite or pass spot here. After that, we got Joseph Holmes going up against Claudio Ribeiro. Claudio is the favorite at -189, and Holmes is the underdog at +165. Both guys are looking to bounce back in this spot. Claudio is coming off a knockout loss to Abdulrazak Alhassan, and Holmes is off a submission loss to Jung Park. Holmes will have a height and reach advantage. However, my main issue with Holmes is that he lacks volume in his fights and tends to wait for his opponents to throw first. Ribeiro, on the other hand, is a former professional boxer who throws with legit power in his hands. Holmes' path to victory would be on the mat. However, he has a sub 40% takedown accuracy and only averages around 1 takedown a fight. For those reasons, while also taking into account Ribeiro's takedown defense he showed in his last fight, I think this fight will be staying primarily on the feet. With that in mind, in a standing fight, I got to back the better striker in Claudio in a favorite or pass spot. Holmes also lost via decision to Jamie Pickett, who I hold in a really low regard. On to the next. Next up, we got Zhalgas Zhumagulov going up against Rafael Estevam. Rafael is the favorite at -169, and Zhalgas is the underdog at +144. Rafael is an 11-0 Brazilian prospect, making his UFC debut on Saturday, fresh off his knockout win over Joe Elias over on the Contender Series. Zhalgas, on the other hand, really needs a win in this spot, or he'll likely be cut from the roster coming into this fight off 3 straight losses, most recently to Charles Johnson via a split decision. This one will be short and sweet. Rafael is one of my favorite plays on the card. He's a grappling machine, averaging over 4 takedowns a fight. He also has big power in his hands, but primarily uses it to go to the mat, as he doesn't have the most technical takedowns. Betting-wise, Zhalgas is definitely the hardest test to date for the debuting fighter, but it's pretty apparent what the UFC is trying to do here, essentially setting Rafael up and cutting Zhalgas in the process. It's a favorite or pass spot here. After that, we got Ikram Aliskerov going up against Phil Hawes. Ikram is the favorite at -204, and Hawes is the underdog at +180. Hawes is looking to bounce back off a stoppage loss to Roman Dolidze. Ikram, on the other hand, is making his UFC debut on Saturday, fresh off his Dana White Contender Series win via submission over Mario Felipe de Souza. All I need to tell you guys about Ikram is that he's a wrestler coming out of Dagestan, and he fights like a wrestler coming out of Dagestan. Ikram averages right around 7 takedowns a fight, and it's very decent striking as well. Heading over to Hawes, he's also an extremely well-rounded fighter. He has no chin, but his striking is levels above Ikram's. Betting-wise, for those of you who don't know, Hawes is also a D1 national champion wrestler, so if he's able to keep this fight on the feet, he'll look like a 2-1 favorite. However, if he gets taken down, he's screwed. Personally, I'll be staying away, and the only way to look here is with the more experienced UFC fighter in Hawes. Purely due to the odds, it's a dog or pass spot here. Closing out the early prelims, we got Parker Porter going up against Braxton Smith. Porter is the favorite at -175, and Smith is the underdog at +155. Smith is a 5-1 fighter, making his UFC debut on Saturday. Porter, on the other hand, really needs a win in this spot, coming off 2 straight losses, most recently via knockout to the hands of Justin Tafa. This one will be short and sweet. Porter is better wherever this fight goes. The only place where Smith has an edge is with his power. However, who knows how legit it actually is or how it will translate to UFC level competition. Betting-wise, I'll happily back the more experienced, better gassing, better overall fighter in Porter in a favorite or pass spot. Kicking off the prelims, we got Marina Rodriguez going up against Virna Jandiroba. Rodriguez is a favorite at -128, and Jandiroba is the underdog at +114. Rodriguez is looking to bounce back off her knockout loss to Amanda Lemos. Jandiroba, on the other hand, is coming off a decision win over Angela Hill. Rodriguez is primarily a boxer. Jandiroba, on the other hand, she'll be the more well-rounded fighter, as she's good wherever this fight goes. Virna is extremely durable, and I think she'll be able to get this fight to the mat fairly easily. Therefore, I think she'll be able to get the nod via lay and pray. Betting-wise, it's a dog or pass spot here. However, if Rodriguez is somehow able to stuff all Jandiroba's takedowns, she'll look like a 4-1 favorite, but I just don't think that's going to happen, so I'll take the plus money on Jandiroba. On to the next. After that, we got Khaos Williams going up against Rolando Bedoya. Williams is the favorite at -286, and Bedoya is the underdog at +250. Williams is looking to bounce back on Saturday, coming off a split decision loss to Randy Brown. Bedoya, on the other hand, is a 13-1, 26-year-old prospect making his UFC debut on Saturday. This one will be short and sweet. Bedoya is debuting on extremely short notice. He has very solid combos and throws a bunch of kicks in his fights. However, Williams is just levels above Bedoya as a fighter. He's way more powerful, has faced way better competition, and is the more well-rounded striker. In a fight that's going to be staying primarily on the feet, there's only one way to look here, and that's with Khaos Williams. It's a favorite or pass spot here. Next up, we got Devin Clark going up against Kennedy Nzechukwu. Kennedy is the favorite at -189, and Clark is the underdog at +165. Both guys are coming into this fight off wins. Kennedy, a knockout win over Ian Kutulaba. Clark, a decision win over Da Woon Jung. Starting off with Clark, he's a solid overall fighter, but he's primarily a wrestler. Kennedy, on the other hand, will have a massive 5-inch height and 8-inch reach advantage. He has an 80% takedown defense, which he'll need on Saturday, as if he does stuff those takedowns, he'll likely knock Clark out cold. For me, it's Kennedy all day here in a favorite pass spot. Closing out the prelims, we got Drew Dober going up against Matt Frevola. Dober is the favorite at -204, and Frevola is the underdog at +180. Both guys are coming to this fight red hot. Dober off 3 straight wins, most recently via knockout over Bobby Green. Frevola, he's coming off 2 straight knockout wins, most recently over Atman Ozaitar. 2 extremely explosive and durable fighters going head-to-head on Saturday. Both guys absorb just as many strikes as they throw. The bottom line here is that as long as Dober's chin is going to hold up, I'm pretty confident he'll get the win. Betting-wise, don't get me wrong, Frevola is a very solid pick as well, as he has the wrestling in his back pocket and throws with serious heat. However, I just think Dober's experience will show on Saturday in a favorite pass spot. Kicking off the main card, we got Kron Gracie going up against Charles Jourdain. Jourdain is the favorite at -175, and Gracie is the underdog at +155. Both guys are looking to bounce back off losses. Jourdain is coming into this fight off 2 straight losses, most recently via a decision to Nathaniel Wood. Gracie, on the other hand, is coming off a decision loss to Cub Swanson. Gracie, as his famous last name tells you, he's a murderer on the mat, and as of late has shown us some pretty decent striking. Betting-wise, Jourdain has all the MMA experience under his belt. However, I just have this weird feeling Gracie off this layoff will look very improved in the octagon, specifically with his striking. Therefore, at plus money, I just have to back the dog here in a dog or pass spot. After that, we got Movsar Evloev going up against Diego Lopez. Personally, guys, I did not get too much research on Diego. All I know is that he's a debuting fighter. I don't even know the odds yet, as I am recording this on Tuesday night. But from what I can tell, Diego should be like a plus 1,000 underdog. He has absolutely no chance in here. I just looked at his Sherdog, and he has losses via submission in his grappling tournaments. So I just expect Movsar Evloev to just roll through him and get a pretty easy win. The matchup before with Bryce Mitchell was an extremely fun fight I was really looking forward to, and I literally wrote a page full of notes on it. But for this fight, I just don't have much to tell you. I would just back Evloev. I wouldn't bet him at minus 1,000 or wherever the crazy number the odds makers are going to give him, but it is a favorite pass all day. If you guys do lineups on DraftKings or whatever, Evloev will probably get a finish inside the distance. On to the next. Next up, we got Jessica Andrade going up against Yan Jourdain. Andrade is the favorite at -189, and Jan is the underdog at +165. Andrade is looking to bounce back, all for a submission loss to Erin Blanchfield. Jan, on the other hand, is coming off her impressive decision win over Mackenzie Dern. Rarely do I hype up women's fights, but I'm really looking forward to this one and highly recommend all you guys to tune in. Both these girls are bangers on the feet. They both put out an insane amount of volume. Where they differ is with the power and technique. Andrade has all the power, and Jan is a super tactical and clean striker. Betting-wise, I like Jan as the underdog in this spot. While Andrade has the wrestling in her back pocket, I think Jan will be able to keep this fight standing and outdistance with her jab and outpoint Andrade on the feet. It's a dogger pass spot here. I just like the plus money, especially in women's fights. Let's go to the co-main. Now, we go to the co-main event of the evening with Belal Muhammad going up against Gilbert Burns. Burns is the favorite at -128, and Muhammad is the underdog at +114. Both fighters have been on a tear as of late. Muhammad, the most underrated fighter in the UFC. He hasn't lost since 2019, and he's coming off a knockout win over Sean Brady. Burns, on the other hand, he's coming into this fight off 2 straight wins, most recently over Jorge Masvidal via decision, my personal fight of the night and favorite fight on the entire card. And I know I'm going against the tide, but I love Muhammad in the spot. He has the better striking, and while Burns is the harder hitter, I think Muhammad is going to be super aggressive on the feet, mix in the takedowns, and just overwhelm Burns on the feet. Betting-wise, this is yet another dogger pass spot. Also, I have to note, Burns, this is his second fight in a pretty short amount of time, is going to be tough on his body, and I really think that Belal Muhammad is here to win. He is extremely motivated, and I think he makes a statement on Saturday to get that title shot. Let's go to the main. It's time for the main event of the evening with Aljamain Sterling going up against Henry Cejudo. Cejudo is the slight favorite at -109, and Sterling is the underdog at -104. Sterling is coming off a win over TJ Dillashaw. Cejudo, he's coming off a 3-year layoff where he vacated the belt and retired from his last win via knockout over Dominic Cruz. Start off with Cejudo. He's an Olympic gold medalist wrestler who's probably the most accomplished and elite athlete in the UFC, but he has his hands full on Saturday as Sterling has been on an insane run as of late, and who knows how Cejudo's cardio will hold up. He's been out of the octagon for literally 3 years. Sterling, he'll have a big height and reach advantage on Saturday, and he'll be using his size to bully Cejudo on Saturday. Betting-wise, you guys know my rule. I always bet current champs at underdog odds, and that rule stays true for this week. Sterling is the play. I honestly, as a fan of Cejudo, I hope he gets a win, but I do think Sterling will probably get a fluky win as he usually does. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to join the hundreds of other members catching weekly in the VIP fam, just click the link in the top comment section or description. Shout out once again to Steak for sponsoring today's video. If you use the code HYPE when signing up, I will personally be sending you guys a $75 tip, whether you want it on Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, or directly to your Steak account. All you guys got to do is sign up using the code HYPE, send me a screenshot on Instagram or Twitter. Good luck, boys. Make sure to comment your favorite bets down below. Peace.